Okay, yeah. Sending vibes, sending vibes. I'm just climbing up this stairwell, some like random shopping center in Connecticut. Uh, so I keep seeing, man, I don't even know where to start on this one. I want to talk about a concept that we'll just call it the mirror for right now. Which, if anybody's seen that show Black Mirrors, that'll give you some cool context. If you haven't seen the show called Black Mirrors, definitely check that out. But here's it in a nutshell. So there's like an ancient concept that is pretty much just as above, so below, as within, so without. You look at the Giza plateau and you know that beings have incarnated into this dimension with severe understanding of this concept that really goes far beyond what we currently understand the concept to be. As above, so below, as within, as without. You know, your outer reality is your inner reality. So I'd just like to take this a step further to say, so society is not real. We don't really exist in reality how we exist in society. Society, think about it, we have, you know, our genitals are a big part of our lives. You know, our pooping and our procreating and our excretion process is a big part of our life, yet we walk out in society with jackets and clothes and encased in, you know, how we decide to wrap this, like, I mean, it's like a mammalian, amphibian like shell kind of thing, which is then broken down into, well, society's varied. So society exists in duality, which is a third dimensional thing as well, which is like this or that, left or right, up or down, black or white, which I think is why the amount of melanin in the individual's biology is so prominent of a topic right now, because it's like we're about to ascend to this next level of consciousness, but we have to address that's a whole nother thing about melanin. Let's not do that. But in terms of the dualistic perception of gender, it's not just masculine, feminine. It's a spectrum. So I'm a male, and understanding astrology can be helpful for this, because it's really more of a matter of like assessing elemental influences. Elemental, not just like the elements of earth, water, fire, wind, air, and then ether, but also colors, and an assessment of the state of the nadis and how much energy stoppage or fluidity one has in the system. So for me as a male, I have, just using me as an example, masculine vessel, feminine aspects, masculine aspects. Take a girl with masculine aspects and feminine aspects. So her sign, maybe she's born into Sagittarius, but she's got like an Aries rising, and like her moon is in Taurus. So she's got earth and fire like in her chart, predominantly giving her the presence in society as a masculine woman. This is a really kind of rough nutshell of what I'm trying to talk about, but it's basically just, the point is, it's not black and white. That's the point, getting back to the mirror concept, because the mirror concept is that dude basically. The reflection that we see our lives taking, meaning like the reality of our lives, isn't coming from out here. It's literally coming from inside. And what's the dude's name? Dispenza? Joe Dispenza? No, he's the mind dude. There's this dude, dang, it's on the tip of my tongue. He wrote a book called Biocentrism, and it's basically it's from a science you know, lens of like a quantum scientist, quantum theorist, quantum, like, is very technical, but it's also, he puts some his personal stories in there. But it's basically like the world isn't outside of you and then it's coming into your retina and then you're perceiving it. No, it's like literally, it's a breakdown of what I personally think is going to be a part of the evolution. And the revolution is we stop thinking that the world's happening outside of us and we're looking at it, meaning that we're receiving it from here, rather that we're projecting it outward, and that against these elements of the 4 elements primarily, we're getting all of these electromagnetic impulses sent back to us, which is mirror theory, which is moon theory in a nutshell. Which you know, you look out here and you see mad colors. You got blue, you got reds and dark browns, and you have the whole color spectrum. But what's really happening is you have a solar, where's my solar guy? Well, you have a solar that acts as the light source, and the light source basically just charges it up because it's really just heat. I don't really even understand the science of it yet, but where I'm at with it is, it's basically just a modern kind of interpretation, or a modern twist, or a modern wording of as above, so below. That the health state, the fluidity state of your chakras, your nadis, determines what you're basically sending out and what's going to come back to you. So that's, and then obviously you got to take into consideration, you know, other celestial bodies that influence the water inside of the human body, but not just the water inside of the human body, but the elements outside of the human body. And those elements are also interacting with friggin' where Jupiter's at right now. So it's really as above, so below. 3rd dimension, 4th dimension, 5th dimension, meaning it's not just where the planets are, which is what astrology is based on. It's not where, you know, it's not just one thing. And society has us in this like pigeonhole mindset that it's this or that, it's dual, and it's black and white, and it's not, it's gray. So much of it is gray. The truth is in the gray area. And my desire is to just like get, because I think so much healing can happen when we get out of this rigid, it's masculine really, which I think masculinity is fading away, obviously, as the primary like modality in which we receive each other. I think Trump is serving as like a face for why masculinity no longer serves us as leadership. And I think after him, like, I don't think Hillary was going to be a good first woman to be led anyway, because she doesn't feel super feminine to me anyway. She feels like she understands feminine concepts intellectually, but she feels like legit House of Cards, like power woman, which, not that power woman's bad, but anyway, y'all just look at her and tell me if you feel warm, soothing, feminine energy or rigid, masculine energy. Just because she's a woman vessel doesn't mean that it's going to determine the type of energy that the vessel is carrying. So that's a little bit about it. I'm going to come back to it and tune it up, but I just want to start documenting. Shout out to Gary Vee. That dude is inspiring the shit out of me, because he's just like, yo, I keep thinking that I have to know these things that I feel, and that's, I think, part of what I'm trying to do here is like, I don't really know it yet. I don't really understand it yet, but I know that there's this thing inside of me called moon theory, and it's really light technology, and light technology is sound technology and vibration technology, and so basically it's like a practical toolkit to arriving to pure tonality for the human device. The human device being your human life, but it's not, your life is not just your human device. You're much more than your human device, but your human device is the 5th element that you bring about the actualization of your desired reality. And how modern society's taught us is like, we're so not that we're actually an instrument of society, that we have to work for them, which I don't even want to get into that right now, but I'm making a video game about it, kind of. They're basically mining our spirits for energy and making us want to go shop at Kohl's instead of whatever we could do. I think I'm gonna make another episode about shadows, because that's a big part of it as well. But gotta understand her and gotta understand him. The sun cannot be one. Anyways, yeah, so we'll leave it there, but I'm coming back, more stuff coming. Yeah, sending everybody vibes. Thank you for watching. More stuff coming soon. I'm gonna understand this stuff better, and I'm gonna stop apologizing for awesome. Sending you vibes. Yeah.